Beetlejuice's sequel finally releasing decades later, we can safely say that we have fallen in love with the witty ghost yet again. The film might not be a top contender, but seeing Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton again definitely marks a win for the fan. Another 1980s film also came back with the original cast. How can we forget the remarkable Ghostbusters? Now that we have been reintroduced to both the heroes and the anti-hero from different universes, completely opposite to one another, an inevitable question arises. If the two were to cross paths, who would win? I'd like to believe that they'd become good buddies, with Beetlejuice becoming a freelancing spy of some sort and joining the Ghostbusters in some of their adventures. But let's dive in for argument's sake. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. 1. Heath Ledger for the Joker in The Dark Knight. If you've ever tried to understand the Joker from DC, you'll surely know why Batman was essential in stopping him. The Joker is unpredictable, with evil plans reserved for ruining the world, even after his death. In the Injustice storyline, we saw his death at the hands of Superman as a major turning point for the planet, even in the Dark Multiverse. His death marked the creation of the ultimate multiversal threat, the Batman who laughs. Portraying such a character in live-action movies is an extremely difficult task, and Heath Ledger did a phenomenal job in the 2008 movie, The Dark Knight. Ledger immersed himself in the role with such depth that he improvised many iconic scenes, even scaring his own co-stars. He was cast for the role well before the script was written, giving him ample time to delve into the Joker's perspective. According to sources, Ledger isolated himself for weeks in a hotel room, during which he mastered the character's mannerisms. While shooting the film, Ledger insisted that Christian Bale hit him for real and threw himself around, which resulted in serious bruises. His efforts were remarkable, earning him an Oscar for his performance. However, it came at a cost. Even after the role ended, he struggled to preserve his sanity. Tragically, before he could receive his award, he was found dead due to a drug overdose, which is speculated to have been exacerbated by his intense dedication to the role. 2. Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. At some point, it was inferred that playing DC's Joker in live action was never without severe mental instability. After Heath Ledger, there was Jared Leto, whose unstable and obnoxious behavior with co-stars led to his replacement by Joaquin Phoenix. For Joaquin, it was a huge challenge as he was the main character in 2019's Joker, without a Batman. There were no crazy action sequences, or Batman's high-tech gadgets to steal the show, or engage the audience. The film focused solely on the character and his tragic origin story. Joaquin lost almost 52 pounds to depict a malnourished physique for the character. His approach differed from that of Ledger and Leto. To get into the mindset of the notorious and unpredictable character, Joaquin spent days studying the mannerisms of real psychopaths. Remember the iconic laughter? He spent days watching videos of psychopaths laughing. All his efforts created another masterpiece, but it took a heavy toll on his mental health. In an interview, Joaquin stated that the quick weight loss led to psychological instability, and studying the character gave him a tough time regaining his sanity. Let's not forget that Joaquin already had a troubled childhood and early life, witnessing his siblings' deaths due to drug overdose and struggling with serious drinking and substance abuse himself. Fortunately, he has recovered and is now completely sober. 3. Nicole Kidman for Virginia Woolf in The Hour. Australian actress Nicole Kidman has had a promising career with numerous hits, even being nominated for Oscars. She is known for delving deep into her characters and portraying them flawlessly. However, things took a turn with her role in the 2002 psychological drama, The Hour, which revolves around 3 different women from different eras, all suffering from acute depression and believing they are living someone else's life. Virginia Woolf was a particularly troubled character, growing up with various forms of mental stress. She was an author suffering from acute depression and trauma, and at the end of the movie, she takes her own life. Nicole prepared extensively for the role. Besides reading all of Virginia's works, she learned to mimic her handwriting and even learned how the character rolled her own cigarettes. According to sources, Kidman took on the role during a dark period in her life. Before filming, she had suffered a miscarriage and a divorce. After completing the film, she experienced further depression and stated that she felt she was no longer in her body. 4. Natalie Portman for Black Swan. Next on the list is Natalie Portman, who played Nina Sayers in the 2010 American psychological horror film, Black Swan. The movie revolves around Nina Sayers, a young ballerina selected for the dual roles of the innocent and fragile White Swan, Odette, and the sensual and dark Black Swan, Odile. Although she performed Odette with great finesse, the director, Thomas Leroy, was not satisfied with her performance as Odile. Another dancer, who physically resembled Nina, joined the company and seemed to have a better chance of playing the Black Swan. As the movie progresses, Nina experiences severe hallucination, leading her to kill herself before the final act. In the end, the audience is left in awe of Nina's performance as both the White and Black Swan as she dies on stage. Natalie Portman, one of the finest actors in Hollywood, truly explored the darker aspects of the character for this role. According to sources, she spent hours developing her physique and even dislocated a rib while practicing a lift. Beyond the physical strain, her mind endured severe stress. Rumors suggest that after production, Portman took a long time to regain her mental stability, but she is now doing great. 5. Anne Hathaway for Fantine in Les Miserables. In the 2012 film Les Miserables, former prisoner Jean Valjean completes his parole and leads a life of honesty. Anne Hathaway played Fantine, a worker whose entire life of struggle revolves around her illegitimate daughter, Cosette. Lives with the ruthless and exploitative Thénardiers. Fantine's misery deepens when she is fired from her factory job, forcing her to sell her body parts to provide for Cosette. She sells her hair, teeth, and eventually becomes a prostitute. By the time Jean learns of her plight, it is too late. Fantine is taken to the hospital, but her health deteriorates rapidly, and she dies. Anne Hathaway did a phenomenal job in the movie, but it took a heavy toll on her mind and body. She lost almost 11 pounds by restricting her diet to 2 thin squares of dried oatmeal paste a day. The sudden weight loss caused her severe mental stress, and it took a long time for her body to recover, leading to a mental breakdown. According to her, once she returned home, she couldn't bear the chaos around her and often reacted uncontrollably. Her dedication to the role was commendable, earning her an Oscar, but overcoming her emotional crisis took quite some time.
Wendy, give me the bag. Give me the bag. Ah, God damn!
6. Shelley Duvall for Wendy Torrance in The Shining. The 1980 film The Shining is one of the greatest horror films of its era, adapted from Stephen King's 1977 novel of the same name. If you haven't watched it yet, do so. It's a classic. The story revolves around a haunted room in a hotel. In the movie, Shelley Duvall played Wendy Torrance, the wife of Jack Torrance, a former alcoholic who becomes the caretaker of the haunted hotel. As the film progresses, the family, newly relocated to the hotel, faces the horror that lurks within. The film ends with Wendy and her son Danny escaping the horrors, and the adaptation was highly praised. However, shooting the film and its aftermath were not kind to Shelley. In an interview before her death, she mentioned how physically taxing the shoot was and how it affected her mental health. She frequently needed short breaks, as longer ones would have increased the budget. The film demanded that she remain in a constant state of panic, and known for her intense acting, she delved deep into the character to make her performance appear natural. This took a toll on her health for months. Shelley Duvall passed away earlier this year due to complications from diabetes. 7. Jack Nicholson for Jack Torrance in The Shining. It was not just Shelley Duvall who had troubles coping with her role in The Shining, but also Jack Nicholson, who played the role of Jack Torrance. Jack Torrance was the husband of Wendy and father of Danny, who had a previous case of hurting his family in a rage while being drunk. Jack took up the role of a caretaker, but he was also a frustrated writer suffering from a mental block. The entire venture of shifting to an isolated hotel was to clear his mind and give him some perspective on his creativity. However, he soon became the target for the malevolent forces and attacked his family. As mentioned before, Wendy and her son Danny managed to escape, but Jack died. The role was intense, and if you have watched the movie, it was horrifying to see Jack lose his sanity and relentlessly try to kill his own son. Jack Nicholson has been a consistently charismatic movie star, and playing a character from Stephen King's novel demanded his very best. According to sources, he faced a severe emotional crisis in order to adapt to the character's rage and abusive nature. Getting into the mindset of a character who slowly descends into madness took a toll on his mind, and in an interview, he stated that even after the release of the film, it took a long time for him to get out of the character's mind.
To confront this cruel demon.
8. Linda Blair for Regan MacNeil in The Exorcist. There is no denying that 1973's The Exorcist is one of the scariest movies of all time. I am sure most of you have watched it, but if you haven't and you are a fan of horror movies, make sure you do. The story is about a 12-year-old girl, Regan MacNeil, who begins exhibiting violent and disturbing behavior after using a Ouija board. Her desperate mother, Chris, turns to Father Damien Karras, a priest struggling with his faith. Karras, convinced of a demonic presence, enlists the help of Father Lancaster Marin, an experienced exorcist. Together, they confront the malevolent entity possessing Regan. The character of Regan was played by the young actress Linda Blair, who was only 14 years old at the time. Later, in one of her interviews, she stated how difficult it was for her to perform her part. The violent shaking of the bed injured her spine as well, but if the physical pain could be endured, it was the toll on her mental health that proved challenging. Since the movie caught the attention of many churches and religious groups, Linda received a lot of hatred, which added to her long-term trauma. Life was no longer easy for her, and later in 1990, she stepped down from the film industry and became an animal rights activist. Now, Janet Leigh for Marion Crane in Psycho. 1960's American horror film, Psycho, was one of the biggest hits of the year. Produced and directed by Alfred Hitchcock, the film was based on Robert Bloch's 1959 novel of the same name. The plot revolves around the encounter between Marion Crane, an on-the-run embezzler, and a shy motel proprietor, Norman Bates. Janet Leigh played the role of Marion Crane and later revealed that her life and mental state were never the same again. The iconic shower scene had such a deep impact on her that she never took a bath under a shower, and she made sure the doors and windows were locked every time she ever took a bath. To make matters worse, Janet received life-threatening letters from those who hated the movie, and it went to such an extent that she had to get help from the FBI. The film stood as one of Hitchcock's finest work, but it took a huge toll on Janet's life and mental health.
Money. Are you sweet-talking me? I love it.
10. Jared Leto for Joker in Suicide Squad. Last but not least, we have yet another actor losing his sanity for playing DC's iconic villain, the Joker. Before Joaquin Phoenix took up the mantle of the character, there was a short span where Academy Award winner Jared Leto was cast to play the Joker. Jared is known for his intense method acting skill, and there is no doubt he would have left no stone unturned in getting into the mind of the Joker. There was immense pressure on him, as the one who previously played the Joker was Heath Ledger. Jared spent a great deal of time learning about the character and getting into a similar mindset. He later revealed that in order to get into the requisite crazy mindset, he interacted with real psychopaths and criminals who had committed heinous crime. His brief appearance was well received by audiences, but his efforts made him lose his sanity. During the shooting of Suicide Squad, Jared sent obnoxious gifts and articles to his co-stars and ruined their peace, some of which included used condom, live rats, bullets, anal beads, and a dead pig. However, things are not that bad for the actor now, and it seems that he has certainly moved on. Marvelous verdict. So, we have now come to the end of the video, and we hope you have liked our content. The list could be even longer, and we are open to hearing if you feel that there is an actor we have missed. Actors seldom talk about their personal trauma, and all of those only come to light when the work is considered a hit. There could be many average films that demanded a lot from the actor, and it is indeed difficult to learn more about them. However, thank you for watching the video till the end, and stay tuned for the next Marvelous video. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.